Hey, and we're back, baby. Welcome to the home of original sports perspective, from our couch to yours. This is the Couchriderreport podcast, and I'm so happy that you all took time out to look at the last video because we were bringing that original sports perspective on the Baltimore Ravens. And yes, things did not go our way. It went as projected, as expected, and I am still mad about it. I'll be honest, I'm kind of upset because I was expecting big weapons for the Ravens when I shouldn't have been, because I've talked about it all offseason that the Baltimore Ravens weren't going to make big moves in the wide receiver department because that's just the plan. They build through the draft and then they move forward on those small contracts so they can save some money, because they know that they have to pay 3 superstars coming up here that are coming up on the end of their rookie deals. Anyway, I didn't want to come to you to talk to you about the Baltimore Ravens, just that I'm still just depressed. I'm so upset, man. I just wanted just one new shiny toy. Come on, EDC, just one. That's all I wanted, baby. Anyway, I need to get my mind off of that. So I decided to go venture off somebody else who might need my help. Like, another team need to get their life together. The Detroit Lions. They needed some serious help. They had a pretty bad year. In fact, they had some franchise lows. I believe it was like the 3rd worst team in franchise history. Yeah, I mean, of course, they went a whole season without winning a game, but this was definitely pretty bad. They had a bad 2019, only winning 3 games, and then in 2020, they only win, 2 more games after that to go 5-11. And things should be, they desperately need to turn around for this team. Hopefully, they're on the up and up with the trade of Matt Stafford. I'm not saying he was the problem. He was not the problem in that organization, but I'm thinking with those draft picks, 2022 and 2023's first rounders combined with their own, because they're probably going to have another bad year, it could end up getting better for this team should they be able to pull it together with those top tier picks. This year, they only got 6 picks, and I believe 2 of them round 3s, and then you have the 1st and 2nd, and I believe just a 5th and a 6th rounder after that. So a total of 6 picks, but I think they are well equipped to turn this thing around with the right resources. And it came from on high. Basically, they need to clean house. The known Matt Patricia, he had to go. I'll be honest, the guy just wasn't doing much for this organization, especially when you are in the bottom. I mean, just the bottom of the barrel, worst defense in the league. They were ranked like 32nd in the league. They were giving up 419 yards on average per game. 419. Who gives up that much real estate? Like, if Baltimore was on the schedule, they'd have probably set a franchise record for rushing yards that game, because they were giving up 134 yards on the ground to everybody who stepped in the building. Like, hey, congratulations, here's the real estate. Go ahead, you step right up. You step right up. Would you like some green? Here's some green. Got all the real estate right here. Come to Detroit. Poor Motor City. Y'all on the struggle bus for real. It got so bad with this franchise that I believe the owner of the team just basically gave the franchise to her daughter, Sheila Ford Hamp. She took over the franchise in 2020, but she did it after the NFL draft. So this will be her first time experiencing a draft as the owner. I'm curious to see what her input's going to be, being that she just hired a new general manager. Is she going to trust them to make the decisions, or is she going to fully Jerry Jones it up? She trusted Brad Holmes with, he had ties with the Rams, which is kind of weird because I'm starting to see a trend here. You got Brockers, you got Goff, and you got Brad Holmes coming up to Detroit. Is this basically the Rams North? We have Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is the new head coach. Hopefully he can turn some things around. But in order to do that, there's going to be some decisions that need to be made during this offseason in order to make some things happen. Of course, they don't have much to work with either. Like the Baltimore Ravens, they have about $12 million in cap space. Not a lot to work with all these players, and the agents in here just banging the table saying, give me that dollar. When we're sitting in a pandemic and a cap that it's not above 200 mil, it's like 180 something. So they need to recognize what the cap is and what's out there and who has money, because everybody's not balling like New England. right now. Not just signing 10 plus players. They were able to make some moves that other teams were not. Anyway, but Detroit cannot make those moves. They have to be smart about them. So if I could recommend 3 big moves for them, okay, well, let's just talk about the needs. For the needs for Detroit, they need a wide receiver, of course, because they just lost Kenny Galladay to Giants. I'm gonna try not to get emotional up in here and throw some furniture. Just get all pissed off with it, like, because he's supposed to be a Raven. Like, if you listening, bro, you were supposed to be with the big trust. Woo woo, little trust. Woo, woo. You were supposed to be a Raven. I'm upset, man. Anyway, they still need a corner, and I know they was bringing in a guy from Atlanta today, DeMonte Kazi. That's big. He was like a 5th round pick. But he was serving on Atlanta with as a starter for a few years. But they need a corner, nonetheless. And I was thinking a cheaper option, more like Garyon Conley, because Conley's pretty solid in man coverage. And that's kind of what they need to help on is man coverage. Can you hold this person long enough for the blitz to get there? Speaking of blitz, they need edge rushers. They need offensive linemen as far as the right tackle. Left tackle, it looks like it's pretty shored up. And they just need linebackers in general. Probably should just go ahead and just hit the reset button on the entire defense minus Brockers, because I like Brockers. I mean, if he wasn't injured during his physical last season, I think he would have been with the Ravens and it would have been pretty nice. But we got Derek Wolf out the deal, so pretty solid. We were able to take down the Kings, whatever. Now, other positions or somebody else that I would recommend would be Rick Wagner. I know Rick was there before, and I think he'd be a cheap option to bring back. You have a cap space of $12 million. This guy would probably go for a good $5 million. Green Bay cut him because they didn't want to pay him $6 million. So there's an opportunity there to bring somebody back that the team is familiar with. I wouldn't say team as a whole because coaching staff is gone, but at least Detroit is familiar with the face of Rick Wagner. He has experience at right tackle. He's a pretty solid guy. I mean, what's not to like about him? He used to be a Baltimore Raven as well. Let's go. Let's see. What else I recommend here? Outside linebacker Eric Wilson. Okay, and then I think you just got to build through the draft. You basically, your needs are going to be built through that draft, and you're going to have to trust in that. The only strength that this team actually has right now is at running back. They signed up, Jamal Williams out of Green Bay, and they already got DeAndre Swift. So I think this is a pretty solid running back core, especially with Kerryon Johnson as the number 3. They can go places if they stick it to the ground and then use that play action with Jared Goff to find guys like Tyrell Williams. And yes, Ghost is there as well. Brashard Perryman, for those of y'all who don't know who Ghost is. But Brett Perryman was injured with the Ravens and didn't produce with the Ravens, but then goes over to the Cleveland Browns and then to Tampa Bay, and he kind of flourishes. You see that speed threat. You see what he's able to do. Goes to the Jets, and, of course, injuries happen again. But when he's healthy, he's pretty solid. And I'm hoping Detroit is able to get the best out of this gentleman because he has potential. He has potential. But the thing about potential, it means you ain't done nothing yet. Tyrell Williams has potential, but he's done some things. I'll be honest. Tyrell Williams is a pretty solid receiver and could be the number 1 receiver there. But we do know that Detroit has a pretty high pick. And honestly, if Jamar Chase is sitting on that board, Detroit should pull the trigger right then and there, because that is a game changer for your division. People have to game plan for this gentleman because he is a straight up baller. I don't expect the Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith to be sitting at pick number 7. But if he is, there's a lot of foolish teams out there. You should take him. Wide receiver is nice in this draft, but if you can get one of the top ones off the board to where you can say, hey, this is a plug-and-play starter, shoot, do it. I love my wide receivers. That's what I talk about. And you'll see that when I talk about the Ravens. It's kind of an oxymoron talking about the Baltimore Ravens, who has a legendary rushing attack, and then, of course, the wide receiver position. Maybe it's just a want thing, and I want to talk about it because it's something my team doesn't have and we need. But for you Detroit fans, I really hope your team's able to put it together. I hope Dan Campbell brings you everything that you need to have in order to take out Tom Brady and that NFC, because I'm so sick of seeing this dude, bro. I know I said it last podcast, but I don't know, somebody just make you feel just so bad. You just like, oh my gosh, take him down. Yes, please, NFC, beef yourself up, get your life together. And this is the first of many Get Your Life Together takes for the Couchriderreport podcast. Like I said, we focused on the Detroit Lions today. Many other teams are coming, and I cannot wait to continue to do this because this is fun. I really enjoy this, and I'm thank you all for stepping into the room and just joining me here on the couch, because we could deliver original sports perspective from our couch to yours. This is the Couchriderreport podcast, and this is your boy Jermaine Lockett signing out.